It just got even more ridiculous. Breaking news is Shemar Stewart has just left the training facility for mandatory minicamp. What is this going to mean for the Bengals franchise going forward and its ongoing reputation of not getting contracts worked out, including other players like Trey Hendrickson, as that drama continues to build? We're going to discuss that and break down the latest news that is coming out of Bengals camp. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see you. And if you want to be up to date with all of our videos as they come out, breaking news such as this, be sure you smash that subscribe button so you'll be all up to date and be able to voice your thoughts as we continue to see things heat up in this off season. Well, it just seems like a broken record at this rate. We continue to see reports of contract disputes, whether it's with Trey Hendrickson, whether it's with Shemar Stewart. This latest news is Shemar Stewart reportedly leaving mandatory minicamp amid contract dispute. Now, the difference between him and Hendrickson is he's not signed. His stand is not signing a contract and not going to sign it until he gets the right verbiage. That has been his issue. It's not been about money. It's not been about bonuses or whatever, those types of things you see typically in a contract. Certainly with Hendrickson, that's been the case. But it's been the wording that has not appeared in other contracts in the past. That's what reports are showing, that this is the first time they put in different verbiage. And you could tell that things were starting to heat up a lot because there was a quote recently before he had left camp that had come out. This was from Shemar Stewart directly. He said, concerning the contract dispute going back and forth, I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing y'all have never done before, but in y'all case, y'all just want to win arguments more than winning more games. Clearly, he was focusing this on the front office. It's just what's going to happen next, right? As Bengals fans, I don't think we can say we're shocked. Unfortunately, the Bengals have had this reputation when it comes to players and contract. It just is going to be an ongoing thing. Sadly, that's going to be the reputation for these Bengals. That's what you're seeing in the headlines right now. First, it started with Shemar Stewart not practicing. He was at the facility. He was going into meetings. He was meeting with Zach Taylor. All those things, thinking this might be something minor. But this just escalated to a new level. With him leaving, it's showing he's not going to give in. Now you have the front office versus yet another player. There's already that dispute going on with Hendrickson, and there's been so many headlines, there's been so many stories coming out in that camp. But the thing that is so frustrating for us fans is these are supposed to be your two starting ends, potentially. Stewart has that potential, even though he is a rookie, he is a first-round pick, has not played one NFL snap. The projection of getting him in the first round with that 17th pick was to have him start. And it's just fascinating to me, honestly, to see the fans' reaction, because it's spilling over into the fans as much as it's a business problem. This is something that should be only between the players and the front office. And because this is being treated so much as a business of dispute for this, if it's of wording over here with Stewart, if it's with actual salary with Hendrickson, that's the kind of stuff that you might hear about, but you're not going to see it spill over into the field. Hendrickson holding out, did not show up to minicamp. Now you have Stewart leaving. That's sending a statement. That's putting your foot in the ground and saying, I'm in this for the long haul. You don't have just one. Now you have two of those. So how frustrating as fans is that? Because you're just hearing pretty much silence on the end of the Bengals. They're not really making much of a comment. And that's the Bengals' MO. They're known to just let things go. They did that in the past with Carson Palmer when he threatened to retire, and he did. He sat out, and the Bengals just let it go. That's been their way of handling things, is just letting things go. And that can be the right way to handle some things, but as a fan, you have to feel the frustration. This should be an exciting part of the year, seeing players out there practicing. They're got all these different coaches. You have a new defensive coordinator And I'm sure he's anxious to see what he can do with Hendrickson and Stewart. But now it's left with he's got to answer all these questions from the media concerning these contract talks. And that's not anything to do with him. He's more focused on the players that are there. So what can we say? This franchise has a reputation of not getting things worked out with its players. Really want to see a change. Just be different. Don't be that franchise that has that reputation. Unfortunately, that's what's been hovering over them. Now, positive through all that, that's been the breaking news when it comes to Shemar Stewart leaving the facility. We're going to have to monitor this. Maybe this blows over. Maybe things get worked out. Either way, we got to keep an eye on it. But what about the locker room? That should be something that we should be interested in with all of this, because this is a major distraction going on. This is something that Ted Karras actually brought out. He was recently interviewed. It's not the best case scenario of how the spring could have gone for our first round pick, but there is a pretty serious business aspect to our profession. He is taking counsel from his camp. So he's talking about Stewart there, and that's just acknowledging what's going on. I have said it before. I appreciate Ted Karras. He doesn't really beat around the bush. He's straightforward with what's going on. And right here, he is saying, this is not how we could really want things to go. It's just not. This is not best case scenario. It's not. You want to see your first rounder out there on the field. And especially the knock on Stewart was he didn't have very many sacks in college. Well, what is he going to be showing? He's going to be showing he's going to be a pressure type of player. Like Hendrickson, like a Myles Garrett, he can get pressure. And how do you build on that? How do you get better? You got to get your reps in. So that's understandable. It's refreshing to hear that from Ted Karras. Going with these interviews, it seems like, again, they're kind of beating around the bush, and you understand it's a sensitive topic. It's a business type of ordeal. He went on further, though. He had more to say concerning this Stewart contract talks. He said, the main thing I want to say is I don't think to either of our defensive ends there is any harboring of resentment in our locker room. I really hope both camps can figure this out because we have a really good team. We've had a super productive spring. You just don't want this to carry over into the summer. Love what he had to say here. There's no ill will. They're trying to support their players, and that includes Hendrickson. Notice he said both of our defensive ends. But at the same time, he's trying to be positive. Let's try and get this worked out. We've got a good team. That's exactly it. This is an exciting team. If they could just get things worked out, it's just going to be fun to watch. What more can we say? Unfortunately, this is kind of that dark cloud that's hovering over things. And I feel like Ted Karras has that frustration. He was saying all the right things. He was in a more positive light. Hopefully this works out. But he's also taking it from both sides. And what I also like about Ted Karras, he went on even further. He was talking about this. And this is concerning the fans. I mean, you have to like this kind of a comment. He says, I don't think it's been a distraction. I think it has been more been a distraction for the fans, mostly. I know Twitter is hot right now, and Cincy Twitter doesn't mess around. I think how it has played out has been probably unfortunate for both sides. I can't think of a better way to sum things up. It has not been good for both sides. Both sides. You're talking about the Bengals franchise. This is a dark cloud that is hovering over the franchise. This has not been good for Shemar Stewart, for Hendrickson, if you want to put him into that. They should be on the field. They should be practicing. That's what you were expecting when you drafted him in the first round. You were expecting him to come in and contribute right away. And what happens? You hit a snag. And like Ted Karras said right there, it's unfortunate because nobody's really winning right now. And as fans, we're right in the middle. We have to hear about this day after day. And it all comes back to if they could have kept the business side out of this, if they could get Shemar Stewart, get Trey Hendrickson in-house practicing, you would not be hearing about it like you are. But now the concern's growing. There's excitement for this season. You want all players with all hands on deck. You want to see this team succeed. And you're going to need your Shemar Stewart. You're going to need your Trey Hendrickson. We have to go back to, again, last season, that defense and what was going on. Losing those guys, losing Hendrickson, not having Stewart, it's just going to make our hopes continue to dwindle down. As much as they're one player, as much as they're one person, we just got to stay tuned. We hope this blows over. We'll remain positive like Ted Karras, but we have to acknowledge this is a frustrating thing to be caught in the middle. But we want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? This is such a escalated event that has been going on, but what are your thoughts? Do you think this is something that's going to get worked out soon? Is it going to drag into the summertime? Hopefully not, but what are your thoughts? Comment below. We want to hear from you. What are some maybe excitement that you have for the season? Maybe throw a little bit of a positive. We could definitely use some positive when it comes to this team. And if you have not already, be sure you smash that subscribe button so you'll be all up to date as our new videos drop. That's going to do it for now. As we say, Hoo day.